Okay, so have you ever really wondered what separates the truly wealthy from, well, everyone else? It's not just about having some killer business idea or a secret stock tip. It's deeper than that. It's all about their psychology. And we're about to dive right into the mindset that actually builds lasting wealth. And trust me, some of this stuff, it's going to seem a little backwards at first. So let's start with this really powerful idea. The things that actually work in life, a lot of the time feel like a total contradiction, right? You need discipline and you need freedom. You need ambition and you need patience. Well, guess what? This exact same paradoxical thinking applies directly to money, and that's the core idea we're going to unpack today. So what is this big paradox when it comes to money? It's actually pretty simple, but it's tough to get right. Here it is. To attract wealth, you have to respect it. But at the very same time, you have to be completely indifferent to it. I know, it sounds totally impossible, right? Like, how can you do both at the same time? But believe me, mastering this balancing act, that's the absolute key to the whole thing. And you've got to understand, the stakes here are incredibly high. This isn't just some nice philosophical idea to think about. If you get this balance wrong, one of two things is going to happen. Either money will totally control your life, or it's going to feel like it's actively running away from you, no matter how hard you chase it. So why do so many people get this so wrong? Well, the real problem is that most of us have a completely broken relationship with money. We just don't see it for what it is. Instead, we project all our emotions, our identity, and our sense of self-worth right onto it. This right here is the mindset shift you have to make. Stop thinking of money as good or evil. It's not moral. It's just infrastructure. Think of it like electricity. You respect its power, for sure, but you don't have an emotional relationship with your light switch, do you? It's just a neutral tool, a form of energy that's meant to be used. And what happens when we can't see money as just a neutral tool? We almost always fall into one of two traps. And yeah, they might look like total opposites, but they're really just two sides of the same broken coin. And almost everyone is on one side or the other. All right, so let's call these two failure modes: the disrespectful spender and the fearful hoarder. And even though they seem like they're from different planets, both of them come from that same flawed emotional relationship with money we were just talking about. So on one side, you've got the spender. For them, money is just a toy to make their ego feel good. They're all about flashy, short-term decisions. They just don't respect it. Then, on the other side, you have the hoarder. They see money as their only source of security in the world, so they cling to it for dear life. They never take a calculated risk, never let it move or grow. The funny thing is, both of these mindsets, in their own unique ways, push wealth away. This is something the spender really needs to understand. Look, being good at your job might get money in the door, but it's your character that convinces it to stay. Money is a form of energy, right? And that energy just isn't going to stick around with someone who disrespects it. It naturally runs away from carelessness and ego. And for the hoarder, the problem is just as bad. See, clinging to every last penny isn't being responsible, it's just being fearful. Remember what we said? Money is energy, and energy that doesn't move, well, it decays. By hoarding it, you're pretty much letting it rot because you're scared, and that fear-based mindset, it's just as bad for building wealth as disrespect is. Okay, so if being a spender is bad and being a hoarder is bad, what actually works? Well, we have to go right back to that paradox we started with. The solution isn't to pick a side, it's to walk right down the middle, holding both respect and indifference at the exact same time. Let's break that down for a second. What does respect even mean here? It means education. It means actually taking the time to understand how our financial system works, where money comes from, how it moves around the world. You respect it by appreciating its function as a seriously powerful tool, not just some number you see in your bank account. And then we have the other half of this puzzle: indifference. Now, this does not mean you don't care about anything. It means you achieve emotional neutrality. When you have a big win, your ego doesn't shoot through the roof. And when you take a painful loss, it doesn't crush your identity. The numbers go up, the numbers go down, but you stay stable. This quote just cuts right to the heart of it all. The second your heart starts pounding because of a financial gain or a loss, you've given up control. You're not using money as a tool anymore. At that point, it is using you. So why on earth does this paradoxical mindset work so well? There's kind of an underlying law at play here, a psychological principle that sort of governs how wealth moves. Let's call it capital flows to calmness. Look, if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. Money, it trusts people who don't emotionally need it. Just think about it. Capital is drawn to stability. It's going to flow toward the calm, rational decision maker who knows how to allocate it well, not the emotional wreck who needs it for their ego or for their security. It trusts the person who is indifferent. We can boil this entire thing down to two simple lines. If you're always feeling needy and desperate, if you are constantly chasing money, you are going to repel it. It's just how it works. But if you can shift your focus to simply understanding it, respecting it as a system, all while staying emotionally detached, you will start to attract it naturally. So, with all that said, the last step is to turn the lens back on ourselves, right? It's time to take a hard look at our own internal programming when it comes to money. So here's the question I want to leave you with. When you think about a large amount of money, what's your gut reaction? Is it a rush of excitement, a boost to your ego? Or is it a knot in your stomach, a feeling of fear and anxiety? If it's either of those, then you know you still have some work to do on that path to true indifference.